What's up, Mark?
What's up, Mark?
Actually, a better question for Mark is what's down. Yeah, because he's in charge of watching over the lake and all the life forms living below the surface. Crater Lake is considered to be the cleanest and clearest large body of water in the world. The water is so clean you can actually drink it. Now, Mark's been working here for more than 30 years, and he protects the lake in a bunch of different ways. But let me give you just one example. In the 1980s, there was a power company from California, and they began drilling just outside the park, just east of Mount Scott. They were drilling for geothermal heat from this volcano. They wanted to use steam to power some turbines to produce electricity for the Bay Area. Well, when Mark heard about this drilling, he said, wait a minute, if you drill even outside the park, that might have an effect on the ecology of the lake. But back in the 1980s, nobody knew if there was any hydrothermal activity in Crater Lake. And even if there was, Mark had no idea if that activity might be important. So to answer those questions, he got to pilot a one-person submarine called Deep Rover all the way to the bottom of the lake. And what do you think he found down there, besides a lead weight and a bunch of piano wire? Well, he discovered some springs. There's a little bit of water bubbling up into Crater Lake from below. I wouldn't call them hot springs. The water was kind of lukewarm. But growing around the springs, he discovered giant colonies of yellow bacteria. Big, fluffy, yellow bacteria mats. Actually, the color of your shirt. Yes. And the bacteria, it was alive. It's down there feeding on iron and other minerals being introduced in that spring water from below. So there is life on the very bottom of Crater Lake that depends on the continued hydrothermal activity from our dormant volcano. Well, as a result of Mark's discoveries, believe it or not, Congress took action.
Yay.
Imagine that. Congress stepped in, they said no more drilling, and they established a buffer zone 5 miles wide all the way around the park, beyond the park boundary where no drilling is allowed. But my favorite part of this story, so Mark made several dozen dives over the course of 2 summers. On one of those dives, he paid a visit to the very deepest point. First person ever to be almost 2,000 feet deep in Crater Lake. And when he got there, he wanted to sit for a few minutes in the darkness and the stillness to contemplate his achievement. So he turned off the lights, the instruments, he shut down the submarine, and when he looked up through the clear acrylic hull of the rover, he could barely believe his eyes, but he could actually see the outline of this flag silhouetted against the water surface, which told him that it wasn't pitch black down there. Crater Lake is so clean, the water is so clear, that a little bit of sunlight penetrates all the way to the very deepest point. Isn't that mind-blowing?
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody say thank you, Mark.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome. But you know, the lake itself is only 7% of this national park. So further up the trail, we'll talk about somebody watching over the other 93%.